Good evening. Hello. Hello, guys. Are we ready for another development stream? I think I am. Proximity Tiger. No, Proximity Trigger. Proximity Trigger. Hello. Hello. Proximity Trigger. Yes, kind of. Okay, so today I want to work on something. Oh, there is a picture of the day. Look at how many people here selling stuff in the square, huh? Looks like a merchant day, market day. Anyway, these people selling stuff. Meanwhile, the Mac release just finished because there is actually one person that said, yes, why not? Please do a Mac release. And so, I mean, okay, I'm gonna do it. And so actually I did it. So I launched this infinite process already 2 days ago, I think, and it finally finished. So I have the Mac file, which is this star file. Actually is this bitzip file, right? There's one, and we can upload it. Maybe not now, but we can upload it tonight, so that tomorrow we will have also a Mac release available. Very nice. Okay, so I will explain you briefly the problem of what I'm working on. So what we are going to work on today, basically the problem is the following. I mean, yeah, in the old game, right? In the old game, we had certain special NPC. They were flagged as achievements, and you can see them in the game in PS Unreal right now, because if you go to PS Unreal, you will see them in certain locations, which were their only purpose was to trigger an event when you were going close to him, right? So if you are a player and you are going close to this NPC, when you are within a certain radius, right? When you are within a certain radius, this thing will trigger and it will generate an event. Right now, this thing I never ported in Unreal, because in Unreal actually we can do it in different ways, and the idea is that we do it with proximity trigger anyway, with trigger boxes and things like that, because there are some ways to do it. So the point is to create a class. And by the way, this thing can be used for other stuff as well. Okay, so now we use it for this, but in theory it can be used also for traps, right? So if you have, imagine you are in a dungeon, right? And you have a door and you have another door, and maybe between the two doors you want to put a trap, right? You want to put a kind of a spiked thingy, but invisible, that comes from the bottom. Then you can put this trigger box, right? This trigger box. So when the character will walk and will touch this invisible box, it will actually trigger the trap, right? So I think we can use it for different things. At the moment, I want to use it to substitute the old NPC for the achievement of the 4 cities. We have an achievement which is called I think Visitor of the 4th City or something like that. And basically this achievement triggers when you reach certain spots in our 4 major cities, right? And this one is done with this old way, which at the moment is not enabled in Unreal. So I started to do some reasoning on how I can do it. And actually, I created a class taking an example that I found on the web, which is basically declaring your own proximity trigger, right? And the proximity trigger is derived from trigger box, which is a standard Unreal Engine object. And in theory, this guy should already be capable of sensing the overlaps. Right now, the problem I see is that this is not happening. So I want to launch. So I want to do two things. I want to launch in debug mode the server and see why, right? So the first thing we need to see is if our proximity trigger is actually properly spawned, right? And if it's spawned with the right radius and in the right position. In theory, it should. Otherwise, it will probably crash. Hello, Marcelo. Hello, people. So we test that. Now, I added to the database one example of this. Okay, so I added one example which is called Ingots of Fire New in Idla Plaza. Okay, you see that actually is coming through this trigger type proximity. Okay, sector name NPC room, so is not that one. Is not that one. But actually, okay. Actually, also that one is triggering the begin play. Let me just check one thing on this function, because I don't know exactly what are all these parameters. In world, okay. Vector center is the actor location. Okay, extent is the bounding box of my guy. Color is the color. Persistent line is equal to true, so probably this thing should be always there. Lifetime 999. Depth priority 0 and thickness 5. Yeah, so in theory this guy should be visible. Now this get component bounding box get extent. I'm not really sure that is actually spawn parameters. Spawn parameters. Can we decide the scale? No, huh? But anyway, I'm setting the scale just after. Because I don't know if this guy will actually show, but fine. Yeah, anyway, it's passing through this. 100% is passing through this. Which is good. Okay. Now, it would be interesting to know. The generate overlap event, you know, if that one is enabled by default in a trigger box or not. Maybe we can set it explicitly. But okay, let me go in game now. Let me go in game 1 second. And we want to see if our trigger box is... yes, it's coming through this. And if it's coming through this. It is what we want to see. Hello, One Learner. Hi. Hello, Belvin Gaming. Hi. I found that to do this to make mine work. Set collision, enable collision query and physics. Okay, yes, because that is something that I was going to do next, including the collision channels, right? Because you need to tell him which kind of collision channels you want to use in theory. I was watching a Visual Studio stream. They made a GDAP project converts teams from VS Code to Visual Studio, which... also, sometimes overlap doesn't occur when you spawn an actor with stuff already overlapping. Yes, like if you are inside the box, if you are inside a trigger, it doesn't overlap. It overlaps when it's crossing the envelope, let's say, right? There is something that I've seen already. Ah, by the way, we are triggering overlap begin already. Very interesting. Very interesting. So it just did what we said it would not do. But it actually, because we spawned into it, but it seems that it actually triggered. Now, when you are inside, I think nothing happens. But when you go outside, nothing happens as well. Interesting. I mean, it's 10 meters. What are you doing, man? Why it triggered only once, and why? I mean, I'm sure that because I checked the other actor, and the other actor was me. I mean, it was a Dermorian M something, and I think at the moment in the game there is only me as a Dermorian male. So I'm a bit surprised though that this thing doesn't overlap again, unless the 10 meters are really big. But also, I don't know if... In theory, the box should be centered exactly here. Uh-oh, what happened? I'm stuck. Why I'm stuck? What the hell? The Morgan character is stuck and failed to move. Yeah, I know, I see it. I see it. Ah, I'm stuck. Why I'm stuck here, by the way? You think it's the trigger box? And by the way, I'm not a GM at the moment because we removed the GM levels from this character the other day when we were testing the other stuff. So I need to put it back, otherwise I cannot unstick myself. But it's strange that I think I never got stuck there. So we got the overlap anyway. I mean, we got the overlap, but we got it once. Which is kind of strange. Okay, unfortunately we need to quit because I mean, I can leave the server up, but I need to reconnect because yeah, the size at the moment is 10 meters. But the thing that is a bit strange is that in theory this box should also have a kind of a border around it, right? To see it, and at the moment is not showing it. I mean, it's not happening. The border is not visible. I mean, I copied this one from an example, so on overlap end. So I called the on overlap end now that I disconnected from the client. Kind of strange. Kind of strange, actually. Yeah, you see that we call on begin overlap, and the actor is definitely me, and the other actor is the proxy trigger too. So this thing is actually working. Maybe we can check the size of this guy. If I get the trigger box, trigger base, actor. In theory, we can read everything from here. The problem is that there are 1 million. Yeah, there are 1 million parameters, and I don't know if it's really collision component. Because I don't know if generate overlap events is on, but I guess it is because we got the event. Replicates is 0. Replicate is 0 is very, 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 very bad. Even if, you know, we are checking the overlap only server side, so probably I don't even care that. That's probably why I don't see it, because it's not replicated at the moment. Generate overlap events. There is a generate overlap event during level streaming, but there should also be a generate overlap events. There are so many parameters, boys. There are so many parameters. It's impossible to read. Let me just set it as replicated 1 second. Let me just set it as replicated. So when we create it, we set the scale, and we can also set it as replicated just for a second. Then maybe we remove it, but it's just to see it if we can. So if we say spawned, should I do I have to do it in the, yeah, I have to do it in the constructor, because if I do it here it will not work. I understand. So I need to do it in my proximity trigger. So set replicated, set replicates true. Now can I do set generate whatever, generate overlap? No. Maybe generate overlap events is not inside the object, it's inside something else, like the movement component. But this thing, I don't think this thing is a movement component. I mean, even if he's an actor, so maybe he does. Okay, let me just try to set replicate through and see what happens. Should be U-box component for sides. Okay. Are you working with Unreal for some project, Belvin? We are waiting compilation. Just waiting compilation. Okay, succeeded. I will launch it anyway in debug mode. You see there is this draw debug box, which in theory should paint like a purple box around it. But we don't see it, so... Been doing it for years. Okay, nice. I'm also working on it since quite some time now. I mean, still a bit new to it, but now it start to be, you know, 500 and something streams on it. So it start to be something. Actually, we are spawning more than one, but I think we are still inside, and so we are still using the begin overlap, yes. I just would like to see if we see it. Seems we don't. Seems we don't see it. In theory, it should be... I mean, it should be 10 meters around that guy, because the position is 10 meters around that guy. But maybe it's super big or something. Maybe it's scaled like super big. Because it's strange that I overlap end only when I quit the game. Like, anyway, the radius, I set the radius to be 10 multiplied by 100, right? So 10,000, which is 10 meters in Unreal unit of measure, unless, you know, this... ah no, fuck, it is the scale, bro. And E is already 1 meter. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Yes, I think it's 10,000. See, if he scales 10,000, it's not 10,000 centimeters. Is yeah. Okay. So yeah, it was huge. It was like super big, beyond big. I'm gonna ask you for advice on multiplayer stuff. I'm also finished my AI and just adding more weapons. Okay, yes, for sure. For sure. I mean, our multiplayer is actually working at the moment. So yeah. I mean, I'm not an expert, but let's say I used it quite a bit in multiplayer now. I mean, everything we do is multiplayer. So every function, every time you spawn an object, spawn an item, create a character, you know, cast a spell, whatever, play a sound. I mean, everything is related to multiplayer thingies. Thingies. Is loading or not? Connection timed out. I didn't restart it. Maybe I didn't restart it. Yeah, I think that I mean, assuming that the base box is 1 meter. Now, I have no idea when I create a default, but I think the default is 1 meter. So I think a scale of 10,000 was obviously creating like 10 kilometers thingy, which was not a good idea. Now we multiply it by 10, so I think now may be fine. Parapapam. Yeah, for sure. I can share what I know. I wanted to do, you know, a series of videos, but then I never got the time to do it. We didn't trigger now, huh? Ah, we see the purple box. Ah, we see the purple box. Ah, very nice. Very, very nice. You see the purple box, Arenas? Okay, so if I go inside of it, in theory we should overlap. Yes, we do. Okay, fine. And if I go outside of it, in theory it should end overlap. The end overlap seems not to trigger at all. Ah, yes, it did. Okay, nice. Perfect. Okay, so I think it works. Now, I mean, it works already. That's very strange. But let me try something a bit tricky. Like, if I drop an item there... it doesn't overlap. I basically dropped an item inside of it, but... well, maybe it's not inside. Let me try to really go at the border and drop the item. Well, now it's inside for sure. No, it didn't trigger. Okay, so it seems, yes, if you spawn inside, even if before we spawned inside, but if you spawn inside an item, it doesn't... now I'm too far, I cannot pick it up. Ah! Okay. The box is colliding with my trace channel. Really? Oh yes. Oh yes. No, this should not happen. By the way, that guy is an AI. That guy is the PC doing stuff. Yeah, it's very odd when stuff does what you want. Yes, exactly. So I need to... so basically we need to work a bit with the collision channels, because we don't want that box to block my... well, maybe if it's not replicated it will not, but in general I think we want that to only generate overlap events. But let me think about it 1 second, because we want... I mean, for sure we want to disable the mouse trace, which is a specific channel that we have. Okay. I think I have another example somewhere. Collision... wait. Collision channels. I need to go in my code though, huh? Not in Unreal Engine code. Set collision enabled, no collision. But the problem is that if I do no collision, it will just not sense anymore even the overlap events, right? Collision enabled query and physics, but why I don't filter... I remember there was a place... ah, here it is. This is where I was doing the million test on... Collision channel pawn. Response to all channel ignore. Response to channel camera block. Visibility block. Overlap all block or static block. Pawn ignore. So these were all kind of tests, right? Because what I want to set, I mean, for sure a collision should be disabled. Yeah, physics should be disabled, but I don't know if physics is related to movement and overlap. That I don't know. But because we have a custom trace channel which is interact with mouse trace, right? So I don't remember if generate overlap event. I mean, if I have no collision, generate overlap event will still work or not? An overlap between two objects will register if both objects set this flag to true. This way an object can output the overlap event by turning on its own flag. Once an overlap event concludes, we generate an event of blueprint and code use defined behavior. With multi-body overlap disabled, a single overlap event will be generated. The collision profile of the overlapping object determines if an overlap will generate a hit event or an overlap event. Okay, because overlap in theory is here. So if it's block or overlap, right? So I need to... So in theory I need to set... Yeah, the problem is that I need to do it on the component. Because I don't think I can do it. This thing is not that easy. It's not that easy, boys. I mean, I can set the actor scale, okay, but then I need to set. So what can I do on this guy? Can I set collision? Get collision component. Hey, get collision component probably is the one that I need. Because on the collision component, get collision component. If I get a collision component, then here I can do what I was doing on the other side, right? I don't know if it's body instance, but response to channel. Response to channel. Response to channel. Set response. Set collision response to channel. Right? Set collision response to channel. And then I can give him a channel. The only problem is that my channel is a custom channel. But probably what I can do, I can disable on all camera. You see, because these one are the default ones. So in theory, I want to response a collision response to overlap. So basically what I want to do, I want to disable collision on everything. So let me do one thing. If I do all, there is no all, eh? Fuck. How do I get a custom collision channel? I think I did it already. I remember this thing. Interact mouse trace. I remember I did this thing already. Interact mouse trace. I didn't. Fuck. No, but there was a way. There was a way to get a custom collision channel, I'm pretty sure. By name. I remember. Game Trace Channel 2. Oh my god. Really? So you need to set it to like a placeholder that they put. Interesting. In what is this? Default engine. I did it already. This is why I was remembering. So our trace channel is actually a game trace channel 1. Okay. So let me search 1 second my code for game trace channel 1. Maybe I never. Hello, Gion. Hi. How are you? Yeah. Anyways, ACC game trace channel 1, which is set to my thingy. So, so I want to be sure. I want to be sure that I'm ignoring. I mean, I want to ignore everything, right? I want to ignore everything. Strangely, I cannot say all. Max visibility vehicle was static. But I don't know, should I set them all like this? I mean, it becomes a bit of a mess, but I can put it in a function. I mean, basically I need to ignore everything except pawn, and in particular I want to be sure that I ignore my trace channel, because otherwise we are in trouble, boys. Only pawn. I mean, I can exclude these ones, which are the only ones that actually I think are meaningful. Camera, visibility, were static, were dynamic. My game trace channel, which is the mouse, and pawn is overlap, right? What do you mean by using the wrong function? Isn't this one? I used this one, I think, already. Why is in the wrong function? Climbable, we don't care. Visibility. Okay, the others, I think I don't care about it. Okay, let me try like this. Now we will move this to a function, because like this is a bit stupid. I mean, it's a bit. I think it's a bit too much stuff in one place, but even if this is exactly where we generate this thing, so. Yeah, I think I used this set collision response to channel already in this place. We could also use the profile name, which was also interesting. I think that here I created, it was long time ago, so I don't remember anymore, but I think I created 2 profiles. And then here you basically set the collision profile so that you can set it all in one. Let's see. I mean, to me, the important point is that it doesn't collide with my mouse. That's the only thing that I really needed. The rest, it can collide with whatever he wants, because anyway, I'm doing a check, you know, that what is overlapping with is a character. So I think it's fine then. Which game are you developing, Belvin? Which type of game? Just waiting the server to go up. Streaming levels. Okay, did it. So we can see it because I can just right click on this guy. Fuck no. I'm still colliding with the trigger box. So he didn't take my collision ignore. Huh? He didn't take my collision ignore. How did I do it for this guy? I said set collision profile name, PS item not blocking. Did I set this into a config file of some kind? Probably yes, huh? Because maybe that's a cleaner way, you know, that you create a profile. And yes, it's here. PS item non-blocking, collision enabled, query only, can modify true or static, blah blah blah, channel or static response ignore. Maybe we can do it like this. Which is a bit, I think it's probably easier. I mean, it's probably better. So that we decide the profile and then we set the profile. Response ignore, channel vehicle response ignore, channel destructive response ignore. Use for PS item which will block characters. So yeah, but I don't see the overlap. I'm blind or what? What? I don't understand what it's saying. Query and physics can modify through object war static. Custom responses or static response. This is all ignore. Maybe because it's not specifying pawn, and so pawn is by default. Yes, he doesn't have pawn because here he has pawn. Okay, and this one he has pawn. So in our case should be ECR overlap, right? This thing. Let's try with a profile. Maybe the profile is a bit easier to manage. Maybe. So if I add a new profile and I call it PS triggers, PS proxy triggers, collision enable query and physics. Let's start with query and physics, then we can try only query, but object type name, I think will be war static. Custom response. Ah, but wait, I did something stupid. I should copy it from the one above, because the one above already has characters in it. So it's probably a better idea. So PS proxy trigger. So we want exactly like this one, with the difference that this should be overlap, right? Okay. So let me try to do it this way. Maybe this way is a simpler way than this thing. And so the way we did it before was this, was set collision profile name, also body instance, but body instance, I don't think we have a body instance. I think we need to do we still need to get the collision component, right? And then we set the collision profile. Okay, let me try like this and see what happens. What I see is YouTube channel for now is some sort of asteroid arcade style game. Ah, you checked his game, huh? But maybe he's developing another one. You know, maybe he's developing a new one. Hula is our special agent. Our special agent. Why this thing is popping up every time? Every time I stop, the server is popping up. Why? No. Fuck. He's still picking it up. Maybe it's not collision component. Hey, it must be collision component though. PS proxy trigger. There is a problem, boys. There is a problem. Collision enabled. Query only. By the way, this one was query only. This one is query and physics. War static. Custom responses. Ignore. War dynamic. Ignore. Pawn overlap. Ah, but in this list there is not my custom channel. Right? It is camera, physics, body, vehicle, distractible. Yes, there is not my custom channel in this one. So I need to put it in. In my custom channel we said it is defined somewhere as game. I hope it's defined before, but No, it's defined after actually. But anyway, I think all this thing is right at the same time, no? Game trace channel 1. And it should be overlap. No, it should be ignored. It should be ignored. The only overlap is with pawn. I don't know. I don't know. I like the profile, because with the profile I think it's a bit simpler. You set it once and you don't have in the code, you know, to write stuff. It's easier to set it from project setting. Yeah, I think you have the UI. You can probably do it in the UI as well, right? I can launch the editor. I just didn't want to launch the editor, but I can launch it. I can launch the editor and see it from there. No, I'm still colliding with the... Because I cannot select this and I see that the proxy trigger 0 is printed out, so... It's actually colliding with me. While if I do it outside, you see I can select. So it's still colliding with the mouse trace. Fuck. It's still blocking the mouse trace. Okay, let's try to do it from the editor, but I'm not sure about this get collision component. Can I set it directly? No, I cannot. Collision set only on server or client, but the object is set to replicate, right? I mean, I can avoid replicating the object. I can disable replicate, which by the way was the default. The problem is that if I do other traces server side, then that thing will block my traces. I don't want that thing to block the traces. That is why, you know, that is why I'm trying to make it engine physics. Engine physics. No. Let me search for trace. Interact mouse trace block. Trace channels. Engine collision trace channels. Okay. Engine collision trace channels. Preset. Okay, so yeah. Preset. But this preset seems collision. Where are the profiles? Do you remember where are the profiles? Because I don't see them here. You can modify any of the project profiles. Engine collision. Profile. But I don't see my names. I don't see my names. I don't see the PS. Ah, okay. It was not scrolling down. PS item non-blocking. PS item blocking. Hey, why didn't load? Why didn't load my? Why didn't load my third one? PS Unreal config default engine. Bro. Ah, shit. That's why. I miss a piece. I miss a piece, boys. I miss a piece. And so... Okay, let me check it again from the editor. Probably is easier. Preset is the profile. So a post online said the earliest you can access is post initialize component or begin play. Said you can use a find component or get component inside a constructor. Time to get a component by class. No, I think it's fine. I think probably just my profile was not loaded. We'll see it again. The new alpha is out. Yes, Gion. Are you a Patreon? I don't remember. Probably not, huh? But yes, the new alpha is out. Well, I did a lot of alpha since the last time that you were here. 2 or 3 maybe. I'm trying to keep an alpha every month. And at the moment, I managed to do it, but it's not so easy. Why doesn't it scroll down? You see? I'm trying to scroll, it doesn't. And now it does. Okay, now my PS proxy trigger is there. Let me edit it. Let me see how it looks. Query only, no physics collision. Object type word static. Description blah blah blah. No. No. Why is wrong? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna change it from here. Fuck it. It should be ignore on interact mouse tray. It should be ignore everywhere. Except pawn, we should be overlap, exactly. Yeah, it's better to do it from the UI, boys, because from the file we are going to make a mess, huh? Let me just see if he added the SEC channel. It didn't. I called it interact mouse trace. He call it like this. He doesn't call it with the internal name, he's calling it with the real name. Okay. Okay, that's nice. That is very nice. I think we have a chance now. I think we have a chance. Boys. I went to the shop. Yeah, I've been working on a twin stick shooter arcade game. I've only been doing it for a month from scratch. Nice. My old project was an MMO-esque game. Nice. Yeah, but solo MMO are tough, huh? I mean, you can try, but I tell you, you need quite some time in front of you. You have to be young. If you want to finish it in your lifetime, you have to be young. If you are a solo developer. Did I recompile? I think I did, huh? No, we're making good progress anyway. I'm pretty happy. We're making good progress. Making good progress. There are still few things, but I think we are nearly... I mean, we are very close to release it open. Plane should only 21. I don't know exactly when you count from the beginning, you know, because depends if you count from the inception or you count from the first release. But actually Plane Shift also has a 2D version. Plane Shift was a mod before being a 3D game. You got it pretty much done with the multiplayer side. There was no tutorial at the time. I had quest inventory skill traceability. Ah, nice. From the first line of code? First line of code, bro, is as old as me. Fuck. Fuck! He's colliding the shit. The shit is colliding. He doesn't give a shit about it. Collision is not replicated, you say, yeah? So if I set the collision, here, collision is not replicated. So it doesn't give. So even if it's set as replicate through on the client, I will. Okay, as long as on the server is using this profile, you know, as long as on the server is using this profile, I may be okay in disabling the replication. But it's important that it doesn't fuck up with the trace in the future, okay? Because if I replicate it on the client, I see it. But if I don't replicate it on the client, I don't see it. And I'm a bit nervous, you know, of something that may in the future block my traces that I will do server side, and I don't see them. But anyway, okay, let's go one step further. Let's assume that now works, okay? Because now we will not collide anymore on the client. So what do we want exactly to do? Now we have the overlap, right? We have the overlap. So we are checking if... so all this is useless to us. And all this is useless to us. So what we want to do? We want to check if the player is actually a PS character. If it's not a PS character, we don't want to collide. Also, do we want to check if he's a player and not an NPC? Like, do we want our triggers to trigger if an NPC step into it? That will depend. That will depend. I think we need to create a flag for this. At the moment, we can exclude NPC. Yeah, like I said, must be a player for now, because in theory could also... So we can check his player, right? Well, we can also check this. Check if the actor do not equal null pointer. So if actor is not valid or actor is equal to this. So I'm colliding with myself, right? Just return. Okay. So I prefer to exclude the cases, the not having an if that then is indented and is annoying. Then character must be a player, yes. Now if he's a player, here we are where we should be, right? Here we are where we should be. Okay. So now assuming that was first conceptualized by me in 1994. Nice. Nice. You see? He's older than 20. 1994. Yes, I think it's correct, because 1994, yeah, I think it's pretty much correct. Internet says the truth in this case. Active play for now. So what do we want to do? So when we overlap, we basically want to run the trigger associated to the action location that we loaded, right? So I think the first thing we need this proxy trigger to be associated to an action location. And so we need this proxy trigger to have a pointer to our action to our thingy, right? We need to have a pointer to our thingy, which is what? Which is a PS action location. So it must be a PSS location pointer, ref action location or something like that, right? Now this one definitely will be null at the beginning, but so we need a way to set it. I can make it public. It's not an issue. I don't really care. But at the beginning, this thing will be null, right? And then when we create this guy, we set this equal to us, equal to me. Equal to this, right? Because this is the object. Yeah, this is the object. So we will set it equal to this. So we will have a reference, right, to the action location that generated the whole thing. So we can now easily, when we overlap, right, call that action location. Now the problem is that I don't know yet what I want to do with it, but basically I want to get the script. So in the same way, I think it should be identical to the code. Calling this is redundant? No, this is a very important one. This is this. It's a very relevant one. So we want to execute the script that is associated to the action location in the same way. We do it when the proximity trigger. So in the old, where do I have a good example of this? Wait. So because there is a script. I mean, this thing should have a script. I mean, it doesn't see it because it doesn't know what is it. It doesn't know what is it. No, action location info. It doesn't know what is it, but now it knows. This draw debug box, we will remove it. Yeah, Visual Studio parsing files in solution. GG Visual Studio. GG. But basically in action location we have get should be get script or something. Get entrance script. No, there is another thing. Is examine script. Get position, get rotation. There should be a get script. Get trigger type. Get script to run. I think it's simply this. Script to run. Script to run. Script to run. Name 0. Scripting node. Yes and no, eh? Yes and no. No. It's not. I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, the script is this. Script flame damage. Right? Script flame damage. So that's the script. It's not inside an examine. It's not inside an examine. It's inside a proximity. It's inside a proximity. So when I load this thing and I have proximity. And I have proximity, right? Response. Ah, it's loaded into response. Get string response. Response. Ah, it's called response. Get string response. So I think we can just assume that is a response. But if then I need to execute it, what happens? Node response, node get content, if node response. Okay, but then how do you run it, man? How do you run it? Probably you don't run it from here. Eh? You run it from parsed response. Ah, here it is. Parsed response. Parsed the action location. If start with examine is doing all this. If it's not starting with examine, ah fuck. If it's not starting with examine, it just returns true. Okay. Okay, GG. So because we need, in theory, we need to load the script. We need to find the script that is related to that action location response. I'm pretty sure we do it somewhere, but I don't know where. That's the problem. That's the real problem. Because when we trigger, it's not entity manager. Very strange. I think it's in the old code. I think it's in the old code. Let me search response. Wait, notify proximity list. Action manager. Notify proximity list. Handle script operation. Response type equal to script. But a response type, bro, is not equal to script. Ah, yes. Yes. Add active trigger. Handle script. So basically there are these 3 lines of the old code that we need to action manager. I think we even have this one, because action manager, I think we have it. Action manager. Yeah, we have it. We have it, and we have notify proximity list, and we have these lines. The problem is that in this case we are not calling this. No one is calling this thing. No one. But I think we can do the same, you know? I think we can yeah. We will call this function. We will call this function, and everything will be nice in our life. Absolutely. Can I call it? Can I say action manager notify proximity list, and then I pass in my actor, which is pschar, and then I pass in the action location, which is that one, and then I pass in the range. Well, the range, I don't know. The range, I mean, the range, we are into it. So the range will be 0. So basically what this will do, we'll call the old code that was working in the same... why don't set collision profile name in the constructor of a proxy trigger? Yes, I think I can do it there as well. Is it different? No, I can. Do you think it's better or just for cleanness? Yeah, but I can. It's probably cleaner, get collision component. Are you sure it works? Well, anyway, here it doesn't seem to work, but okay, let's try like this, and we do one test at a time, okay? One test at a time, boys. But basically here we will call the overlap begin. So for it to work on both client and server. That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So we can re-enable the thing 1 second and see. I like it a lot. Okay, let's see if now, because so I'm going to replicate it. Yeah, because this way we can test if this thing is actually working. Because I want to test with my mouse if it's not going through my clicks. It is very, very, very nice. It is very, very nice. So it's a trick, huh? Because it doesn't replicate, but if you set it on the constructor and he runs the constructor on the client for sure, he's forced to do it. He's forced to do it. This is very good. I think I can use it for other stuff as well. Now the problem is if the new code I added will crash the server, which is a strong possibility. Seems it didn't. Because I'm outside. Easy. Yes. I can. It doesn't collide anymore. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Super good. Okay, let's see what happens when I go through though. So in theory, well, it didn't do anything, but now we can debug it. Now we can debug it. Now we can debug it to see what it's doing, because maybe it's doing something. So here we are trying to basically run the trigger. So we will debug here, and we will check if this notify proximity trigger is actually doing anything. Okay, I think it will, but I don't know if this flame damage is actually defined anywhere, so I don't know exactly how that works actually. I don't know how that works. So let's restart it in debug mode. My client timed out, which makes sense. Yeah, that was a very good idea, Gian. It was a very nice idea. Very nice. I like it. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Oops. Yeah, the server was in debug and was stopped on a breakpoint, so I need to wait. Oh, I did it. It did it. By the way, I don't know if you know, but with 8,000 points, 8,000 channel points, you can redeem the alpha. So it will count as if you are a veteran player or if you are a Patreon. So actually 8,000 points are valued 200 hours of gameplay or $3. It's not bad, huh? It's not bad. Okay, let me go through this. So if I go through this, is dedicated server, other actor is not the other actor, PS chat is not the blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's go inside of this. Notify proximity. So in theory, we should be inside of this one. Ouch. Ouch. Ow, 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 ouch. As active trigger. As active trigger. What do you mean? As active trigger. What is this function doing, by the way? Check if there is an active action location for this client location action pair. What the fuck? Ah, if there is already a trigger that triggered. Why we check this? I don't know, but we check this. This code has never been executed, boys. Yeah, look at this. This code has never been executed. So this basically is going through a map. Is going through a T-map of F-string and PSX location pointer. Okay. Active trigger create iterator. Yeah, but the code seems to be okay. So it's taking the first element. He's taking the first element out of that map, which at the moment I think is empty. And so this active element will be... Well, will not be null though. I mean, this active element should still be a valid object. So why is crashing? It doesn't like dot value, but active is actually a valid entry because the valid entry I created it here. Unless Ash compute, it was Ash compute key, where key is... Ah, he's checking if there is the same. He's checking if there is the same trigger already activated. Just to avoid triggering it twice if you go in and out of the trigger. Ah, okay. But then how does it remove it? So we also have a remove? I assume so. Yeah, remove active trigger. So there is a whole reasoning behind this. GSH compute. I think this is what this is just trying to generate a unique key. But you know what? I think we can. Yeah. Can we hash? How do we hash? How do we hash something? Create iterator. Why create iterator? No, I think what this code wanted to do. I think what this code wanted to do. He wanted to generate a unique identifier and find inside of this. I think sorry, this is a literal translation, okay, that I did when I ported the code. We at YouTube are poor. It will be easy for rich Twitch people. Yes. How many points you have? Yeah, because YouTube is giving less points, I think. You can do exclamation mark points to know how many points you have. I I think what he wants to do, what this guy wants to do, is he wants to search. He wants to search an action location and see if. Oh, come on. And he wants to see if it already exists. Now, Chia's hash compute, I think, was just computing an integer from a string. Because you see what he's doing, he's just appending this thing. Do I have a way to create an integer from a string in Unreal? This one was doing I can just put the string, boys. I can just put the string. Why I need to do all this mess? Let's just put the string as the tmap and I just search by string. A tmap is doing it internally anyway, so... No, fuck it. Fuck this method. We just put the string and that's it. We just put the string. So we do this. We just find... Let's do this. We just find the key. Okay. We just find the key. And if we find it, we find it. If we don't find it, we don't find it. While active. What the fuck? I mean, like, you can have multiple ones. The idea was that you could have multiple active trigger of the same type on you. No, man, no. Let's not make it more complex than what it should be, please. I mean, would be one only. I mean, why we do this? Why? Why we are complicating our life so much? I mean, I can do another find, but you will never find it. Let's say that this one ensures that if the addition happens super quick, ensures that we are not fucking up with the removal. Let me do this. We will just remove the key once. And if by any chance we will have problems in the future, I will read this. But I don't think we need that. No, sorry. This I'm stupid. Which, by the way, I think that the remove, if he doesn't find it, you know, is already... I don't know what this thing is doing. This thing is crazy, by the way. Whoever wrote this code was a crazy man. And I hope it was not me. I really hope it was not me. What do you mean active value? We don't care about active value. We care about active. If active is there... If active is there, then we are good. Without this mess. Exactly. In fact, you see that it was already adding the key, so it was already... I don't understand that CSH compute and all of that crazy stuff that was not needed. None of that was needed. Simplification! We want simplification. How many points you have? Top. Marcellum has 8,487 points. So he can redeem the alpha right now. Hula has 8,100. Gion has 6,155. Well, you're not too far, eh? You're not too far. You have not been very present lately, so I think if you are present a bit more, you can do it. Yeah, but it's definitely broken because Tony is always here, or I mean, is often here, and she only has 2,000 points, so... Definitely... There is something not working. What? Cannot convert from value type. What are you saying? What? Active triggers. Active triggers is a T map, okay, of F string and PSX location pointer. Oh my god, because it's const. Jesus, const. I hate const. Why we do const thingies in our life? Okay, we const a bit. No, I know. I need to const more. I need to const more. Yes, I know. By the way, I think you get 250 points when you join a raid. I think. Okay, succeeded. So basically this will just check now that the trigger is not there, okay? Because there was this part, it was just checking if the trigger... So now it will not crash anymore, eh? And so potentially we will execute our script, which will be incredible. It will be incredible. Look at my face. That Twitch only. What do you mean Twitch on? No, Twitch on. Nothing is Twitch only. It's just a bit slower on... It's just a bit slower on YouTube, but the functionalities are the same. Like if two people are hitting you at once. But here we are speaking about triggers that you enter into, so... WW. Okay. Let's see this notify proximity trigger, okay? Bam, bam, bam. So this one should not crash. Nice. We go into this. This one, I have no idea what it's doing. But let's try. Handle script operation. This code has never been executed, eh? It's the first time. It's been ported, but never executed. If no event is specified, do nothing. Script. So he's searching the script. Null. GG! Flame damage. Flame damage is not defined. Flame damage is not defined. Progression event. There is fire damage. The name is wrong. Flame damage. No, flame damage is not there, boys. We have a fire damage, though. We can use a fire damage. Okay. Let's use a fire damage. Yeah, there was something wrong in the database. Fire damage is the right name. Okay, okay. So we have one more bullet. We have one more bullet, boys. Hope is not lost. Hope is not lost. We need to raid on YouTube. Yeah. I don't know why YouTube is so reluctant on, you know, fixing the streaming. The streaming stuff. I mean, they could eat Twitch easily, but they don't want to. I don't know, maybe Twitch is paying them to keep the tools low enough so that people stay with Twitch. I have no idea. That is so weird. I mean, you don't need a lot. I mean, they hire me for 1 month and I'm doing that easy. Just to, you know, add a few commands and have the bot be smarter. Their bot is joining like 2 minutes after. I don't know, it's so strange that they don't do it. It's such a big company. So it means they don't want to do it because, I mean, they have all the means to do it, right? They have all the means to do it. It's just that they don't want to do it. Okay, we're here. Script. We have fire damage now. Let's go. I will let it go and see what happens. In theory, it should remove HP from me. You touch the ingots and you fire and your hand is burned. Nice. And I lost HP or not? It seems I lost HP. Very nice. Okay, let me remove the breakpoint 1 second. Let it go. And try to get in again. No, second time doesn't work. Fuck. Maybe we didn't remove the active trigger. If there's already an active trigger of the same type, it's not doing it. That's suspicious though, huh? Because entering, he enters. Probably this as active trigger. Yes, this active trigger is the one that is fucking us up. Because we never remove it. Why we never remove it? Because we are never going out of the... Wait. Add active trigger. Okay. Yeah, we should remove active trigger, but we never call it. That's why. Remove active trigger. Okay, this one, we never call it, but we should call it. Trigger. In theory... Remove active trigger, eh? There was one there, but it's not the one that we want. Because I think in the old code, it was doing it when it was coming out of the proxy. I'm pretty sure. And so we need to add it when we come out of the trigger now. Yeah, exactly. YouTube has 10 times. Yeah, absolutely. And he has more people. There are way more people on YouTube than on Twitch. Way more. 1,000,000 times more. Remove active trigger is getting removed only when the event times out. I don't like this. I mean, in our case, because we are using it a bit different here, okay? We're using it a bit different than what it was used before. So before, when you see a white background like this, is the old game code, okay? And it's Visual Studio 2010. That is the old game. When you see a black background like this, is Unreal and is the new game. Just for you to know. Yes, you see, create a game event to check if the actor move outside the trigger area. But this we don't need anymore. This absolutely we don't need it anymore because our box is giving us the overlap and the exit. So we don't need this anymore at all, which is great. So we were doing it manually. To be redone, no, not needed anymore. Not needed anymore. We use begin overlap event or whatever, end of overlap, the thingy. On overlap end. We use on overlap end instead. So okay. So there is not really a U fix me. There is a U note. Right, but I mean U comment. So in our overlap event, we need to do the same thing that we were doing. Here. So nothing else than calling this function. And we should do it in our proximity trigger and overlap event. Remove active trigger. Now, this is needed only in the case we have multiple effects at the same time and we want to check, but I think all of this is really overdone, if you ask me. It's really overdone, but fine. I mean, we have it. Why not? We keep it, but maybe there was a reason, eh? Because we were not stupid. When we were young, we were not stupid. We are stupid now. But at that time, we were pretty smart, so maybe there was a reason why we did that. And now the game can be transformed into a minefield capable of exploding at every step. Yes, exactly, Hula. Exactly. I see you are following. You are following very closely. So now we can trigger. We can use it for traps as well. And the beauty of this is that it's using the same database structure that we already have, right? The same definition, the same trigger type, the same response type, the same response which it is pointing to a script. The script get executed, you know? It can be activated, deactivated. He has a position, he has a sector, he has a name, he has an ID, it can be managed. It can be seen in the UI, it can be deleted from the UI, it can be edited from the UI. So it's very good that I did it this way because is, you know, connected to everything else that we already have. So I think it's so much easier. I think it's so much easier. Can a pet found the traps? If he's a smart pet. But yes, we had it on the list. I remember that when we designed the pet capabilities, we also had fine traps. But then we excluded it, I think. We said learn a location, recognize a creature, get direction, scout for creatures, scout for ingredients, carry item delivery, scout for secrets. Scout for secret and scout for hidden loot. We didn't say traps, but we said secrets. But this was not the last version. I think there was another version. There was probably a pet number 2. No? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not! Yeah, there was a pet number 2 and a pet number 3. Look at this. Pet number 2... Scout for traps. Look at this. Scout for traps, secret passages. Easy. At 1000 experience when he's an adult. When he's an adult, he can do it. But then we didn't code it, bro, because we didn't have enough time. But that's the plan. That's the plan. That's the plan. Okay, so I entered this thing. I take damage. Nice. I entered this thing. I take damage again. Nice. Very good. It actually works. Okay, it works. And he's executing a script, boys, huh? He's executing a script. So he's not just doing 6 damage hard-coded somewhere. No, he's running this script. Fire damage. He's running this script. HP aim actor value -6. Aim actor text you touch the ingot your hand is burned. So it actually works, boy. GG! Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so now we don't need the purple line anymore, though. Eh? We don't need the purple line. Okay, let's try to simplify a bit what we did. Can I remove the replicate? I think I can remove the replicate. Can I remove the... Let me see if without replicate I don't see the purple box. I think I will see it anyway. I don't have no idea. I mean, in theory, if it doesn't replicate, it should not... I mean, the object should not even exist. When you spawn, you replicate, no? Probably not, because trigger boxes by default don't. Maybe because trigger boxes don't replicate. I don't know, it's a trigger box, eh? Yes, I added a runtime, yes. No, it's not here. It doesn't replicate. So it's only on the server side, which is perfect. I prefer this way. Yes, I added at runtime based on the definition of the database. Very, very good. 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 So, so we don't replicate. At this point, we don't even draw, because I mean, drawing something on the server side on screen doesn't seem to be a great idea. And that's it. Okay, so this component is actually meaningful now. The problem is that I will forget about it in 2 months from now, but it's actually meaningful. So why I did this? I did this because in the bug reports there was this bug. They said, hey, there is an NPC called Achieve Gugronted in the Gugronted Temple. And I don't know what is it. And obviously this is a player, right? So it doesn't know what is it. But I know what is it. What is it is that in the old game we had invisible NPC they were acting as trigger boxes because we had no other way of doing it. Or anyway, yeah, we had other ways, but we found that that was the easiest way. And so there was a fake NPC invisible, and then we were using the proximity of NPC and players, and we were triggering a response when the player was close to execute the script, right? But now that we have trigger boxes, we can substitute all of these guys, right? And so in our update schema, right? In our update schema, so when we convert the database to from the old game to the new game, achievement NPC are now using a different system. We use trigger boxes. So what I need to do, I need to delete the old NPC because we don't want them anymore, right? This delete their triggers and responses because we don't need them anymore, at least not on those NPC. But then I need to add new action locations for each of this. So actually we will need something like, now the problem is what they were triggering. They were triggering explore area. You know what is the only problem? Is that the old NPC were capable of passing parameters to the script. For example, experience to be given the range and the name of the area. So at the moment we can, with this new system, we can only run the script. So or I make 4 different scripts. One is called explore area Goog, explore area Amneder, explore area, but doesn't seem to be a great idea. Or we find another system. Let me see what the script was doing. The script was checking if we were in range, but this we do it already. So we do it already with a trigger box. So this check is no meaning anymore. Is checking if the target already explored that particular area. And that actually is meaningful because if he explored it again, we should not add it again. And then it's telling you have discovered the area blah blah blah, and this area is actually a parameter that is passed to the script, right? Which is $area. That's a problem, huh? And you gained $exp. There is a kind of a problem. I mean, what I can do, I can expand this action location to be able to run a script with parameters. So basically do the same that we were doing in NPC responses, because you see this response is response run script blah blah blah, right? Response run script blah blah blah. Can I call the same code can I call the same code if the stuff is starting with response? Because I could, huh? I could do something like I could wait. I could I lost myself. I lost myself. Yes, action measure notify proximity list. Okay. Proximity list as activated, blah, 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 blah. Response task, blah, blah, blah. Handle script operation. Okay, so handle script operation. Handle script operation is immediately searching like this, right? Right. Is immediately searching like this, but in theory we should give him two options. We should give him two options. Now, let me try to understand. Let me try to understand one thing. When we execute the response of an NPC, that is in dictionary, I think. That is in dictionary. When we execute the response of the NPC and it contains a script of type response, what do we... I mean, can we hook into the same code? The problem, boys. The problem is that this response, if it's a script, if it's a script and then it's calling a script, you know, it becomes a completely different structure. It becomes a completely different structure. Because here in theory you could have everything. You could have say, action, narrate, pub, blah, blah, blah. You have a million possibilities, right? So this code is way more evoluted because there is the full scripting. The full scripting. The full scripting. And this is pre-parsed, by the way. It is pre-parsed. There is pre-parsed. That's not easy. There is not. I mean, we have different option. One option is just to say, okay, we don't allow to do the fully fledged, you know, response scripting, because here in theory you could have everything, but we only allow run script. We only allow run script. And so basically what we will have to do, you know, if it's a run script, I think there is a run script operation for sure. So if I search run, yeah, there is a run script response operation. So we will have to check this. If it contains this, we read a run response script operation and we store it, because this has to be done at server startup. And then after we store it, we will keep it with our action location and then we will run it. Now, what is the difference though between that? Can I only... No, but wait. I don't know. So in action location, in production, let me check production, Let me check production. Let me check production. There is nothing. There is nothing complex, because this has never been made more complex than this. Response type, script. Because you cannot really pass parameters. You cannot really pass parameters. I mean, the parameters we need are a name, and we can use the name of the action location. But for example, we need the experience, so we need other stuff. I think I need to extend this system a bit. If I want to make it as it was, but with the new system, I need to extend this to allow something more. To allow a run script response inside of this field. Because at the moment it is only calling a script. And is assuming that the script has all the information to run. In our case, well, to be truthful, right? At the moment, I only need to run a script, because the only thing that I need to do to switch from the old way to the new way, I just need to call it with one parameter, which can be the name. Because the range is completely useless, because the range is given by our trigger box. And the exp, by the way, is always the same. So you managed to get it down to 6,400, and maybe send me a screenshot. Oh, you sent it already, maybe. Because I don't have the notifications when... I don't have notification on Discord. I'm checking Discord now. Hi. Okay, it was you that we spoke about what? We spoke about... we spoke about the night vision. I remember that. But you never did it then, huh? You never did the night vision thingy. Which is okay, but if you have time, maybe you can still do. You can with a parameter. Yeah. But the point is that... Nah, it's fine, don't worry. The point is that I would like to use our existing scripting mechanism, you know? In the sense that I don't want to invent a new system. So considering we already have like 3 different scripting systems in the game, I'm trying to think if I can just, you know, use or reuse one of the one that we have and just plug it in that field instead of, you know, doing something custom just for this. Because this XML that you see here is already doing that, right? But is using the response scripting, and the response scripting at the moment is not plugged into that particular field because is executed on server startup. And at the moment the script is not, because it's assumed we can just call the script. So But I mean, if you want to do it very, very simple, you know, if you want to do it, well, very, very simple, I think it doesn't exist. Because anyway, it can be multiple parameters, right? So in this case, for example, there are multiple parameters. So for me, the simplest form will be to allow a run script, right? Which we have already in our code. And so basically for me will be to say when the proximity trigger is loaded the first time, when the action location is loaded the first time, which is actually here, right? We check if response, you know, and this is at server startup. We check if response includes a run event. I mean a run thingy. Right? If it includes a run, then we can say, oh, it's a special case, right? It's a special case. And so we want to... But then this means that I will have to associate to my action location a new thing. Like if we don't have enough. But I will have to associate... a run script response OP right? And this response script OP and this response script OP we can set by using the normal right, the normal parser. So that would be kind of the idea, and then I can read it later on when so that would be kind of the idea. Now, how the hell do I do this? Because I don't know if the response OP, I think it can be generated directly, but I mean, it's a bit more complex than just doing new. I mean, the new is a beginning for sure, but there is a bit more than that. But I think it's not too complex because probably it's just a parse on that thingy. I think it's just this. Now, we are extracting a piece of the logic, you know, and give each script an ID and load them into an array and execute it when you want. No, man. I mean, we already have a full system that is doing that, so I cannot invent anything new. At least I don't want to invent anything new. I don't want to. I just want to plug in, you know, what we are already doing. I just want to call the load of run response script, which is doing exactly what we need. Sending the response as a piece of it. Oh, fuck. The load need an XML node. Well, anyway, it needs an XML node. We can initialize an XML node. Why not? Since we are here. Why not? Okay. So basically this part will do exactly what the other guy is doing in a way more complex scenario, but he's doing it only for the run operation. So he's assuming that do we use any use stamp? We use stamp. Okay. But I think it's a good compromise, you know. It's not, you know, but I think it's a good compromise. Yeah, no more invention. No, at least let's try not to reinvent something that we invented already. Right? That I think is the point. Wait, I lost track of what is this ID. Now this ID should be my action location ID. Yeah, ID is good. ID is good. Yeah, I think we should return false if this one is not loading. Yes, absolutely. So if this is not properly formatted. Okay, so this thing is basically loading. So it's allowing us to put into the database, instead of the name of the script, is allowing us to put a full script like this. Well, like the one with the run. But anyway, the one with the run, right? Which I think is pretty good. Script like run, exactly like this. Now I hope that this doesn't have subscripts inside, but I don't think so. I think at the moment, you know, so we could substitute now, right? In our database, instead of fire damage, I could have this, right? And at the moment, the server is capable of loading it, which I think is nice. I just put it on the wrong line, but apart from that. Right? Okay. Do you like the compile time now? For sure, with the new processor and the new memory and the new stuff and the new whatever and the new motherboard and the new disks and the new, yeah, I mean it is better. The compile time is okay. What I really hate is IntelliSense. IntelliSense is super slow. I mean, it's better than before for sure, because my machine is like, you know, 30% faster. So I guess that is better, but it's still a stupid system. I mean, sometimes you have a function that is just you know, here, like 3 lines below, and you cannot find it. I mean, in the same class, and he's thinking like for 2 minutes, no, for 2 minutes, let's say for 10 seconds, right? When you're going to upgrade to new Visual Studio, I don't know, when it's fully supported as the standard by Unreal, then I will do it. But I don't want to, you know, be a pioneer of anything. So we have enough to do without being pioneers. I know it's nice to be pioneers and say, hey, we are the first that did this, but we have enough to do really in the game to So I cannot really experiment too much. So when it's solid enough, is standard and mandatory, then I will move. If it's experimental, try and see. No, thank you. Because it's too risky that then I just waste time instead of developing the game. Just wasting time on fixing that. Okay, so we have this thing that in theory is getting loaded at start, and we can also test this piece, but I think it will work. So when this works, we have inside our response script OP, right, the operation. So now what we need to do is in our handle script operation in Action Manager, so we allow, so if it's a script, run the script. No. If it's a response script, whatever, if it's whatever this thing, wait. So if the response is a run script repose script run it. Okay, run it. So and this will be if this one is not null pointer, right? Else if the response is only a script name, then find it and run it. Okay. So we basically need to do these two things. Actually, we were already, you know, having some variables also in the other case. They were passed to the script, so you could actually have, you know, actor and an item, but but was not enough, right? So now I need to understand how to run that script. How to run the script. How to run the script with the variables. Because I think that the variables are included, right? So I think that the variables will be part of the script. So I'm expecting this guy to do all the job for me. I really hope so, because otherwise I did it for nothing, but I think I didn't. So I think this guy, apart from the load, okay, which is loading the you see he's loading the bindings. And the bindings are loaded as a math script, exactly. So when he's going to run it, right, when he's going to run it, he's finding the script and then is sending the bindings as well, which are the parameters. Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, so I think we just need to call run. We don't have anything else to do than call run. And now this run is expecting a player, is expecting which we have, is expecting a target which we don't have. Is expecting an owner which we don't have. Is expecting a time, and then is returning this stuff in theory, but we don't really need it. Yeah, but I think, you know, we just call run, and that's what we and that's it. We don't do anything else. We do. You see? IntelliSense. Hello. Why? Ah, wait. My mistake. Okay, you should shine now. Yeah, it did. IntelliSense shined. Since it was my fault, he decided that, So we have the actor, but the target we don't care will be null pointer. The owner we really don't care. I mean, all the rest should be null pointer, actually. I don't... The problem is that these are parameters passed by... These are parameters passed by reference. I don't need any of that. Can I pass null, or it will just crash everything? No, it will crash. If I do this, it will crash everything, because it will just complain like a boss. Because these are parameters that he wants to fill, right? He wants to fill. Because we are in the other case, so I think I need to declare them, and I know it's totally useless, but I think I need to declare them anyway. So I think I need to do something like this, and pass them in, even if I don't need the answer, you know, but I would never read the answer of these things, because or I make another function that is doing that. I could also do another run without those parameters. Maybe I could create another function which is run, and he has this and doesn't have these parameters, and he's doing what I'm doing now. But I think I would use it only in this case, so I don't know. The problem is that this one is like an array of... is an array of FNPC responses. Let's say that is not the cleanest. This is not the cleanest way, yeah. It's not the cleanest way, because this one we will never use this parameter, right? So we don't use these return parameters in any way. You want to check if the script is valid? Yeah, that's done automatically by our framework. So when I do the load, the script is automatically checked and everything. So you can get Reshaper extension for free or 50% off for non-profit organization. That's very nice. Maybe that could be a solution. $50% off. But if it's a monthly subscription or an annual yearly subscription, I don't know. It doesn't really reason with me when they sell you stuff that you have to pay continuously for the same thing. But at the end, you know, I know my code better without IntelliSense. But yes, it's probably not the best idea. I mean, it improved. Missing type specifier. Bro, missing type specifier. Because you don't know that guy, but... so we need to include bulk object dictionary, I think. Because it's defined there. I mean, this is a big include, though. It's a very big include, but... or I... Maybe I forward declare it. Because this include is very big. It's including so much stuff, but... Yeah, I think I prefer, boys. I prefer to... what was that? Because it's kind of a big include, and I think it may generate other, because then that file is including other stuff and it becomes like the domino effect. This music, boys, is a Super Meat Boy, Boss 5. Gem item. Gem item should not exist anymore. Why there is a gem item here? Gem item. Lol. Cache manager. Also cache manager. Is it using cache manager here? Nah. Also, this is not needed. How many polygons, Marcelum? The last one? 10,000? 10,000 is still a lot, huh? $10,000 is still a lot. I mean, it's better than before, but one object, 10,000? Look at this. Look at this, Gion. Do you have an idea why it's saying this? Compiler limit, internal heap limit reached. Failed to create virtual memory for PCH. Then I just run it again and it works. I just compile again and it works. Basically, it's giving an error that is not an error. It's just like a temporary fuck up. Like a temporary fuck up. I don't know why, but it's doing it. I don't know why, but it's doing it. It's like he's saying that he finished the memory, but I have plenty of memory. He has gigabyte of free memory. Even with 64 he does it. Quality product. A quality product. No, but I'm very happy that this version is free, boys. You know, in the past, there was no Visual Studio free version. It was not existing. It was only... I mean, you can only buy it. Hey, bro, come on, though. I mean, now is the second time you do this. But then they decided to put it for free, and that was a great idea. Otherwise, everyone would have switched to something else. Okay, now it succeeded. Okay, so should we launch it in debug? I think yes, because there is a lot going on. There is a lot of new code that we added. So what we want to see, first, is it loading? First, no. First, we need to check if our database is correct. Did we put the right script? Yes. Do we have explore area? Do we have explore area in our progression script? Yes. NPC location. Wait a second. NPC location. I think we need to change this script though, because this script we don't have an NPC anymore. In the check for range, we do it in the... Okay. Okay. We crashed already, boys. We crashed already. Find, run, response script. What? So find, what is find returning? Find is return is one of these nice functions that is returning 0 when you actually want it to return 1 or what? Now, for example, IntelliSense is not helping. I mean, find. No? Contains? I don't know. I mean, I need to find this thing into this thing. Yeah, but IntelliSense is not cooperating. So I will try contains. But yes, it was basically going through without... But wait, the point is that that script now should be changed a bit though, because explore area, I think we should remove, wait, let me just check it in production, because progression event is the same, it's slightly different. No, it's slightly different only for the indentation, I guess. Yeah, it's only the indentation that is different. So I think we should change it. So I think we should do an update, progression events, set event script equal to this monster, where name equal to explore area. Okay, and then we want to change what we want to change. I think we want to remove completely the target check, because the target check is not required anymore, right? So it will be only like this. Okay, let me try to do the same update here so that we are sure that the update I'm doing is actually meaningful. And let me do it on the right database. GG. What? Bro. What? He's trying to substitute this? No, please. Don't do it. Just run this thing. Do I need to escape it? I think it doesn't really like me. If I do it from SQL, do you think it will be better? Oh my. Yeah. Is the beaver that is trying to substitute the dollars with whatever freaking thing. But it is okay. He did it. He did it. He did it. He did it. So I think it's fine. Yes, it did it. Okay, so the sequel is correct. No, because I needed to be sure that the sequel is correct. Otherwise, in the next, migration from the old game to the new game, contains returns a boolean. Find returns an index. Ah, but if the index is 0, no. Okay, anyway. Okay, let's do it again. I mean, let's run it again. And see, yeah, we want to put a breakpoint here. And we want, no, actually, here. And we want to see if our run script is parsed properly. And if it is parsed properly, then we need to see if it's executed properly. Okay, it seems that he loaded it okay. We have the bindings, we have the script name, we have the thing, so good. So this part went okay. Now we need to check if the execution will be fine. I think we can just launch the client and see if it works. Because I think you should get a message anyway. You get a message like you explored the area, blah blah blah, right? And that is then triggering an achievement, right? That in theory is triggering an achievement for exploration, which at the moment we don't really manage the proper way, but I would say we will. So I will go in and nothing happened. Okay, I was not in yet. Boom. Nice. We crashed in the scripting system, which probably means that we have passed in an invalid variable. Probably target. Ah, no, NPC. Ah, pain. Fuck. There was the ID of the NPC as a parameter of that call. Okay. There was the parameter of that. Holy moly. NPC, complex life. Yeah, the problem is that this is expecting the target. But the target was an NPC. Now it's not an NPC anymore. It's an action location. The problem is that this function is expecting that. Fuck. I think I need to do another run. I think I need to do a run for action and we set a different parameter. Yeah, I think that's the best idea. Because this run otherwise will always be used improperly, you know. Also the fact that I have to pass in empty parameters. You see that nice IntelliSense thing? Update available, thank you. But anyway, I find it myself quicker than he finds it. So run is here. Is this one? So you see, he's passing NPC as a who. What if we do something simpler, boys? What if we fuck this and we just do this? But I think the bindings will be private, huh? Okay, let's create another. Let's do that. Let's create another function which is run for action location. Okay, I think that is the simplest way. Otherwise, we just make a mess. Let's create a new function which is clean. In dictionary.h, the day they will put this list in alphabetical order will really make me a favor. Fuck it. Anyway, dictionary.h. I think if we go in... can we go somewhere? If we go in run script response op run... but the run is virtual. Yeah, because it's... yeah, but on this one, I think we can have only on this one. Another additional thingy. Okay. Yeah, we are diverging from the framework a bit. We are diverging a bit. I mean, I'm feeling a bit spaghetti code here. I'm feeling a bit spaghetti code. I'm really trying to understand if I want to do it in a different way, but basically we will have only for this, you know, we will have a run for action location, and basically I don't know if this is the best solution. I don't know if this is the best solution. Let me try 1 second and then we see, but basically it will be something like this. I'm not fully convinced though, but let me try 1 second and we see. If it really looks like shit, I will remove it. If it really looks bad, we will remove it. But basically it needs to find the script exactly the same way. It needs to define action location as target and nothing else. No, wait. By the way, this is upside down. What? Okay. Yeah, it's a bit upside down. But anyway, let's call it action location so we don't mess up. Okay. So basically now, instead of calling the other one, you know, so here we don't need any of this. So it's a bit cleaner on that side. And we just pass this thing. Actor and action, right? Well, action is actually me, but... yeah, but it doesn't know because it's going through another object. It doesn't know that it's me, so it's okay. Yeah, so this way we will run it. Now, we need to be now the script though. The script now is Al. So so basically it's trying to run. So I will have to change NPC with Al, and I will have to change it with ID. The problem is that I don't know if action locations have a scripted operation. This thing is super stupid anyway. Because we were doing it with this NPC, but doesn't make any sense to do it with an NPC. So, as explored area, PID. Explored areas. Okay. The database, boys, the database. All our players now have that NPC ID in their relationship database as explored area. So if we change this system, we will have also to convert character relationships, because in character relationships there is a relation. This seems to be a relationship type which is equal to exploration, which is pointing to the area that they explored. So, which is actually the ID of, you know what I can do? If I want to be very smart, I set my action location with these numbers and fuck it. And so it works automatically. But do we have the numbers available? That's the question. 801. We have those numbers available. Do we have those numbers available? I have no idea. Where ID equal to 800. 801, 802, 803, 804. Okay, we have those numbers available, which I think is a good news. I don't know why we have them available, but we have them available. Probably because I don't know, we started from 5,000. We have them available. Okay. So you know what? Just to be a bit cheeky, what we can do, we can set, because here we will have to create the new action locations. Okay, so it would be like this. It's exactly like this one, right? Exactly like this one. And we can use the same numbers. So in theory, I could do insert interaction location 800, right? And call it Amneder Crossing. And then we will have to, well, we will have to define exactly the location, etc., right? But I think I copied the wrong one. Fuck me. What? Did I copy the wrong one? No, I didn't. Oh, what the hell? What? Why is copying the line number 23 when I'm asking to copy the number 24? Are we completely crazy here? I mean, why is copying this line when I'm asking to copy this line. Copy as SQL. Paste number 23. Okay, let me try to copy number 23. I want to see what the hell is copying. Number 22. Okay, so it's like, you know, random. Okay. Let me refresh. I think that's probably the reason, because we didn't refresh and he put it at the bottom, and so he got confused. What the fuck? He copied the whole thing. I needed to copy this line, my friend. This line. Okay, he did it now. He did it now. Okay, so the solution will be to define one of this with the same with exact same numbering. Okay, so 800, 801, 802, 803. Right, so 4 of them. Then and so it will keep we will keep the compatibility with the current database, because these are all players. You see, these are all players. I mean, thousands of entries. I think I will never finish if I go down, which have discovered, you know, those places. And I don't want to mess up with the, at least I think it's not required to mess up with this, as long as we keep the numbers the same, right? So if we keep the number the same, I think we can have the exploration thingy done. By the way, this thing will have to be completely redone in the future, because this is part of the achievement system, and the achievement system will be completely redone. I would say from scratch. Because at the moment it's a mess. I mean, it's a website plus a database plus some asynchronous thing. I mean, it's good on one side because it's asynchronous, but on the other side it's really a mess. So basically we cannot see achievement in the game today. We can only see it on a website, and that's not a great idea. You know what is the issue now, though? That I'm finishing my time. But I think we find a way, in the sense that we completed the trigger thingy. The trigger is triggering when we overlap and we end overlap. We modified it so that we can accept a script, which is very nice. And it seems to work. Now the only thing that I need to pump in is the data. Because the data is not correct yet, but I can pump in 4 of those things, right? Position at the right position, so where we want them, exactly where we want them, and I think the system will work. And I think the system will work because it's not missing anything else. The only, you know, kind of spaghetti thingy that we did. Look, half an hour, and Visual Studio still thinks that this class doesn't exist. I did include like 10 minutes ago. I mean, why? But anyway, no, the only thing that is a bit, you know, annoying is that we created a kind of an exception for execution of script operations, which is dedicated only for the action location, and is working slightly differently, right? It's working slightly differently, so that so basically if you place this script in the responses of NPC, or if you place it in an action location, the syntax is slightly different, right? Because in one case you have NPC PID, in the other case you have action location PID. But I think that whoever is doing the scripts may understand that if we give them an example, and so when he understands that action location needs AL PID. Now the only question is the action location exposing a method to the scripting system for PID? Because that I don't know, but we can extend it easily in case it's not. I think there should be a get You know what? I tell you even more. I tell you, it's even better. You know what I will do, which is even better? I mean, fuck this. I can remove it. Can I? If I remove it, can this script pass the action location is coming from to this? Because this is a subscript, huh? Unfortunately, I think no, because oh my god, so many redirections, you have no idea. Because basically we have the script which is calling this other script, and then inside of the script there is another subscript which is this one, which is then calling the C++, and all the parameters are flowing through all of this mess. But I think that this one will not be aware unless we have this, because I can pass to this script. Because you know what? I think action location is not scriptable. That's the problem. I think action location is not a scriptable object. It's not a scriptable object. But I can do this. Wait, I think we have a solution. Because when I am where do I do that? Run for all. Yes. This. Wait. There is a solution. I can define whatever variable I want here. Whatever I want. So I can call it all, and in reality is all PID something, right? It's not a problem at all. So I can pass in this value, right, to my script, and this one can only be called like all, and so I don't have to find the parameter on that object in the scripting environment, so which is so much easier. So I just pass all, and it is the ID. Why is continuously complaining of this? Is it really missing, or? I don't think so. We compiled it already. Or not. Maybe we didn't, huh? Maybe we didn't compile it, my friends. BP spaghetti. Well, BP spaghetti can become very complex, huh? I mean, I know people that I will not name that are making a game only in blueprints, and boys, I've seen some of the blueprint things, and wow, you have no idea what is a spaghetti BP unless you see that first. I mean, when he zooms out, it looks like Google Earth, you know, from the sky. It's actually correct. It's actually correct, my friend. Oh, okay. He was right. It's okay. We will not tell anyone. I think it's okay anyway. So this gives us a possibility, you know, to script this and take this parameter, and this parameter will be read by this, and I think it will work. It's a bit complex, but I think it will work, because this is a parameter we pass to this script, and this script is as it in the environment, and when it's parsing this sub-function to be called, which by the way is called on an object that is scripted as well, which is our player, it will pass the variable, and this as explored area then we'll have to search, you know, yes, we'll take a parameter 0 and it will pass it to this thing. So I think it will work perfectly. I mean, we will not see the difference actually. Bro, I just added you this include. Why you don't like it? I added you the include here, my friend. You don't like it? You don't want to include? Okay, you don't want to include. Fuck you. Fuck you. By the way, gem actor and gem NPC are not needed anymore. Oops. Also, client is not needed anymore. Boys! But everything can be made into functions or macro blueprint, then have a nice tidy flowchart. Yes and no, you know, because there's certain stuff that you cannot do inside a function, like delay, or like, I mean, there are certain nodes that you can only put in the base blueprint. Info. Yeah, probably there was an info missing. But like this is better. No, but I selected from the drop down, no? Don't remember. I don't remember. This code, boys. Do you think that I will release all plane shift on Unreal open source one day or not? What is your bet? If you need to bet, you will bet that I will do it or I will not do it. Because I'm like 50-50 on this. On one side, I want to do it. Because I think it will be a beautiful example on of how not to make a game. No, I think it will be a beautiful example because there is so much in it that people can go and just search for code, you know. It will become like a code reference, you know. But on the other side, what is the problem that he has? Bool cannot convert argument 2 from PS action location to APS action location. Oh, fuck me. Wait a second. No, APS action location doesn't exist. No. I'm typing no sense. He's not an actor. I'm typing total no sense. Wait a second. It's not a PS action location. It's PS action. This is why he's not finding it. Because it doesn't exist. Because it doesn't exist, boys. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's called PS action location, not a PS action location. You will do it on the C++. I don't know. I can't release everything, you know, blueprints and C++, including all the assets. The only problem of the assets, I think, is some of the assets are taken from the marketplace. So I think I can. Yeah, that would be the major issue, you know. If I have to split the open source part from the marketplace stuff, I think it's a mess. Yeah, but it's always good to be mad at IntelliSense, so at least it's going a bit faster, you know? If you are a bit mad at him, then it's going slightly faster. I know the guy. He needs a bit of an incentive, you know? He needs a bit of, let's do this. One day, when's that? I think what's important is free at the point of views. Maybe some interesting in-depth documentation, unless you want to be like blending. I don't know, because it can also be an open license without the possibility of reuse. I mean, it can be an open license just for study. You know? A bit like Unreal. I mean, Unreal is open source, but you cannot really use it for anything else than building Unreal itself, right? Uh-oh. So you could have a license that lets the people basically run your wall project. The problem are I don't want to be racist, but the problem are the Chinese, you know, because if you do that, I mean, there is a Chinese guy that the next day will freaking copy the whole thing and rebrand it and put it online and send an email to all your users that that's the new plane shift 3.0, and it will just destroy you the next day. So that's the problem, I think. Okay, we compiled, boys. We compiled, so everything is done. I just need to test it, but I cannot do it now because it's becoming late. But I think that this will actually properly work. So the missing steps are create 4 entries which are identical to the previous NPC, right? And we can extract the NPC location from the database. Then test it. And then I think we'll be done. So, and then we need to document this system though, boys. I need to document this system. Like, for example, I created this page and it's empty. I need to document, I need to extend, you know, the scripting. We have a whole documentation on scripting, right? We actually have it. And so I will have to go here somewhere, find the right, you know, thingies, and extend, because we have a run operation, we have a script run operation for sure somewhere. Not here. It's under NPC responses, but anyway, it's somewhere, right? And response operation, run script, exactly. This one. So you see, this one is the documentation of our run script. And so I will have to maybe make another example or add a line saying this can also be used inside of action location, or you know, maybe what it would be the best. The best would be maybe to in the action location documentation, which I don't know if we have, but probably we do. I don't know. To put it there, but I need to do it because otherwise I will forget. I think we never documented action locations. GG! We never documented action locations. Oh my god. Okay, guys, I need to go. Without the database, possibly the asset, people can reuse and improve the code, and then AI check it, look into yeah. Yeah, I think that it should be something like that. I don't know, but like because the old game was open source completely. You can download the source code, right? So the problem would be how to separate some of the assets that we bought from the one that we didn't, you know? Because I cannot release on the public domain something that is owned by someone else, right? Even if I would say that the majority of the assets that we used are anyway free. I mean, we bought something, but very, very, very little. So maybe we can keep track of that and just redo those ones. And so at the end go completely free. I don't know. That's just an idea. But I need to go. Bye-bye, boys. Bye-bye. We want to raid someone? No, we are too few. We cannot raid anyone. Pity. Pity. We see you tomorrow, Tomorrow we'll be here. I don't know if we will be still working on this. Maybe this will be already done and finished. So maybe we will work on something else. See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.